Okay, so I don't really know how I'm going to title this video, but I think part of it has to be understanding the power of the scan tool that you have in your hand at the time. A graphing, uh, a graphing scanner is obviously something that we've all been told and we've all known already to this point is important to all of us, right? We know that we need it. There's a lot of instances there where it really saves our butts. But I want you guys to look at this quick little test drive that I just took. This is a left rear, left front. If you look at them, they look like they're about even, right? Nothing really stands out over here. If we compare that side to this side over here, you'll notice a couple of things. One is that the speed over here is much higher. Speed over here is much higher. Okay? What does that really mean to us, though? So when you guys go out there and they take this thing for a test drive, and they drove this thing and they said, Keith, like we see like an occasional dropout. And I don't disagree. But they're about to put on a right rear wheel speed sensor, and I said, can I take that thing for a ride? And just simply because the right rear, I've seen these dropouts before. Generally speaking, that'll set a circuit code. But I'm going to show you, though, the one thing they always forget is this little button down here where you magnify. And you spend a moment to actually sit there and look a little bit closer at the waveform or the graphing form that you have in front of you. If I showed you this picture before showing you the other one, you'd probably be able to pick out which one of these things does not look like the others, right? We would see it down here, that it doesn't have any step, that it jumps straight up, that it doesn't have that little increment there where it goes up to 3 miles an hour, then up to 5 miles an hour. There's nothing there. So during that time, what happens is on this car, as it starts accelerating, you get a traction light that actually pops on. That's complaint number one. Complaint number two is that when they're driving down the road and they start hitting some bumps, that occasionally it'll also drop out and they'll get the traction light to come on. Now, are they the same problem or is it two separate problems? If we take that same data and we scroll our way back to where we thought we saw a dropout before, let me freeze it right there, this was a bump. Indeed, the right rear wheel speed sensor dropped out just momentarily, or almost dropped out momentarily. This is there to indicate that there was a problem in that signal. What this car needs is actually the right rear and the right front wheel speed sensors. In this case here, the right front is going to come along with the hub. So I'll go back a little bit further there just to show you again. Here's another beginning of the acceleration when the traction came on, right? But it's not nearly as noticeable when you're looking at it like this. And this is the way it comes up immediately there when you first start taking it for test drive. The idea behind this and the reason that they do this and they give you that magnify button is they want you to drive down the road safely, record, take this information, record it, hit that pause button, go in there and review the data. I mean, there's so many shops that have it right in front of them and they miss it, and they just miss that last little part. This right here with having a higher signal than the other side, that's a completely, kind of like a little flag to you to say, hey, there's something there. But again, if you're not looking closely, you'll miss that step up. And that step up should not be that way. It shouldn't be a direct ramp going straight up there like that. We didn't go from 0 to 5 on that wheel immediately. It was a gradual increase. It's just applying a little bit of logic here. But this is kind of what I wanted to just bring to everybody's attention, though, because when you're looking at it the way that they originally have it set up, you're going to miss it. Now that you know it's there and you look at it, you'll notice that, you'll see the difference there, that little bit of a ramp over here. But when you're all the way out like this, you're not seeing it. All right, so just to bring it to attention, make sure you know the power of your scan tool, know what you're actually looking for. Having the knowledge going in is helpful, but having the data here to review and understanding that those buttons, that's to review afterwards. So you can actually go in there and look at that information and say, what happened when I went for my little test drive? So you should do this with everything. Everything that you do, always take a quick little recording. If you're taking a car out for a test drive and you're not hooked up this way, then you're doing something wrong. You should always have it ready to go. Just hit that record button and then pause it and review the data that you have. Even if you don't think it's related to the problem that you're dealing with, just review your data. Sometimes things will stand out there. In this case here, would they put a right rear wheel speed sensor on there and fix something? Yes, definitely. But would it have fixed that initial kick, that initial jump when you're first accelerating. No, definitely not. So, you know, a problem that's easily avoided as long as we just take a moment there and review the data. All right, have a good one.